Hello, I've arrived. Alright, so, tonight we are playing some Tales of Arise. Yes, very sudden, I will say. This was a very sudden change of plans. In short, I mentioned this game to a friend of mine. I mentioned that I had seen some footage of the combat system in this game, and it seemed pretty interesting. I mentioned that offhandedly, and they were kind enough to purchase it for me, like on the spot. So I figured I would have to repay their kindness by playing it. But yes, and the reason I'm playing it on stream specifically is because I mentioned this in a conversation when I was where I was talking about deciding what game I wanted to play tonight. But yes, so as you may have guessed from the lack of guests, no collab tonight. But yes, what you may not have noticed, I sure hope you haven't noticed. If you have noticed it, then that means that I've done something wrong. But what you may not have noticed is the fact that I am currently streaming from my laptop. And the game, Tales of Arise, I will be playing on my desktop PC that I usually would stream from. And so this will be the first time I do a stream with the laptop. A non-update stream, and the first time that I am streaming with the whole, 2 PC setup working. I hope it's working. I tested it the other day with Borderlands 2 or Borderlands 3. I did a little recording test, and that seemed to work just fine. And so I haven't changed anything other than, the game that I'm going to be playing here. So let's hope and assume that everything will continue to function properly, and we will encounter no issues, and it will be essentially indistinguishable from a ordinary stream. But yes, so I mentioned what drew me to the game Tales of Arise was the combat system. And so I know basically nothing about the story of this game. Know basically nothing about the story, know basically nothing about the characters. All I know is that at one point I once saw it described as being a game in which you and your party go on to fight the CEOs of racism, which sounds like a worthy pastime if ever there was one. I don't know what this necessarily entails. I don't know even necessarily what that means per se. But I'm excited to get involved in that. So let's see, anything else to be said today? Or right now, anyway. So there also will not be a Valhalla collab this Thursday. Jeps is taking a week off to work on some projects. And, I will most likely be streaming something else on that Thursday as well. Maybe this, maybe something else, who knows. But yes, I do of course still have The Legend of Zelda on my plate as a thing that I want to do. But specifically today I wanted to do a PC game because I wanted to, make sure that the dual PC setup is working properly. So, we are playing this. I don't know necessarily if I will be playing The Legend of Zelda immediately on Thursday. I don't know, I might even stream more than 2 days a week this week. Can you imagine it? Couldn't be me. But yes, I do still recall the days of five streams a week. I do still intend to get back to that at some point. But as of right now, I am currently still occupied with projects of my own, and I'm along pretty good. Put in about 4 hours today on some concept art. Yeah, it's turning out pretty good, I think. I'm liking the way things are going, and I believe that it will be a pretty decent result. So, I suppose that's everything else that needs to be said. So we're going to be playing Tales of Arise tonight. We're going to be playing this or something else on Thursday. I guess all games in the world fall into one of two categories. Either they are Tales of Arise or they aren't Tales of Arise. So this or something else is not a very specific term, but if it's not Tales of Arise, there's a decent chance that it's going to be The Legend of Zelda, because we do still need to beat that. But yes, so, no real ETAs on any of the projects that I'm working on, no ETAs on getting back to streaming regularly. That will probably happen after I have gotten to the point where I feel like I am, comfortably, not necessarily done with, but close enough to done with my projects that I have can expect when they will be done, and can better budget my time accordingly. Oh yeah, I guess another thing to mention, I mentioned this on Twitter, but the YouTube channel is currently broadly up to date. It is up to date as of, or not as of, but it is up to date from every stream that happened between now and the 15th of March, as I recall. Except for this one, of course, until such time as I upload it. But, yeah. The Ni no Kuni streams do still need to be edited and all that, but I've spent a lot of time familiarizing myself with Sony Vegas, or it's not Sony Vegas anymore, Sony doesn't own it anymore, some other company bought the rights to it. But yes, I've spent enough time familiarizing myself with Vegas that I feel moderately competent with it, and am thus sure that I can probably do the necessary edits to get the Ni no Kuni VODs to a watchable state. And that'll be nice. Ni no Kuni is definitely one of the series that I've done. One of the series that I've done so far that I am fondest of. But anyway, let's not waste any more time. Let's instead waste no more time. And let's also set it to say the game that we're playing. Tales of Arise. But yeah, my desk is definitely not set up in a way that is conducive to PC streaming. I've just kind of got my my other keyboard at a weird angle with my other mouse, just sort of awkwardly mushed between the two keyboards. I've got all kinds of cables running all across my desk. It's a bit of a mess. But hopefully it won't be, too much of a mess. And let's hope that the video goes through. Oh, here we go. Alright. So it seems to be working without issue. Yes. Game looks good. I just saw the audio pop up for a second there. Then that prompt came up. Oh hey, intro.
But each and every time we all stand up, stop like do yourself.
But yeah, so I've only launched the game once before to ensure that it was, you know, showing up properly. I don't know why I didn't see that last time. But, oh well. Alright, difficulty. What are the options? Story, normal, moderate, hard. Will we be able to change this once we've begun the game, I wonder? I don't think we're going to go with story. I feel like, I don't know, normal seems like a normal difficulty. So, we'll see. Oh yes, I really find it very irritating when mini-maps, like, rotate, and you don't have the option to make them not rotate. That is very upsetting to me. But yes. Subtitles. Yeah. Yeah, most of these don't seem like options, like, you know, just set it and then you're done options. Most of these seem like things that you would be able to change in an options menu later in the game. Oh, there's more options. Yeah, we'll keep all of this as it is. Yeah, most of these seem like options that you would be able to change in an options menu. So I'm going to assume that none of these are strictly final, and we'll just go with what it is. Hold on, what do I... Okay, there we go. I was going to say, what do I press to start the game? Because I was pressing, I guess on the PS4 control that I'm using, it would be the options button. Nothing was happening.
In ages long past, it was believed that Mother Dana was indestructible and everlasting.
Good to know.
Rena, on the other hand, was thought to be the domain of the gods, a paradise where the souls of the departed could rest forevermore. Oh, how wrong we were.
Oh dear.
In the face of Rena's unimaginable technology, its soldiers, clad in huge, shining armor, and its fearsome beasts, known as Zeugles. The prosperity and bounty of Dana all but disappeared overnight. That was 300 years ago. The world of Dana fell under Renan rule, and its new masters split the land into 5 distinct realms. And now today, Orbis Calaglia, one of the Renan's 5 realms. It is ruled over by the tyrant Balzev, lord of the Firemaster Corps.
Interesting beard on that guy.
Unrelenting fire scorches this barren wasteland. Dust storms course over the rocks and crags, and no relief is to be found from the oppressive heat. The Danan people toil as slaves. Day after day they suffer, under the ruthless oppression of the Renan soldiers, with only one hope of escape. Death. Only in death is their agony finally brought to an end. They have forgotten what it means to be free.
I think I understand.
So complete is the
The
Renan's
CEOs
domination.
of research content. Well, let's see what we can do about all this.
You call that pushing? Put some back into it, embedded.
Iron Mask?
Why you?
Let me.
What is this? Some kind of slave support group? Mind your own business, you worthless. All right, third squad. Time to
Make this my
regroup.
business.
Go on, get moving.
Will do. It looks like the game might be a little bit loud.
Hey, wait for me!
Yeah, I did notice that during Borderlands, and I didn't think to correct that
Thank
afterward
you,
because I forgot.
Iron Mask?
That's okay, Cole. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine. Iron Mask, you're bleeding. We need to get you looked at by Doc.
That bad, huh? Better safe than sorry, I suppose.
Yeah, so I believe this fellow is our protagonist. He seems generally well-intentioned, so that seems like a good guess. I'm so sorry, Iron Mask. You got hurt because of me. Don't sweat it, kid. Not like I felt anything. But that's why Doc tells you to be extra careful, doesn't he? Yeah, but at the end of the day, I chose to stick my neck out for you, and I don't regret a thing. Don't sweat it, Cole, okay? Okay. Thanks, Iron Mask.
I doubt Doc's gonna like what he sees.
Probably not. But yeah, the game does look very nice. Looking very nice so far. I didn't see any, graphics options, which was interesting. Yeah, I didn't really have enough.
You again.
Sorry to trouble you, Doc.
Look after yourself, and there'd be no need for sorries, would there? Now sit. So, still unable to remember anything, I take it?
Blank as always. Nothing but that strange dream.
No face, no memories. Unable to feel pain, yet only too eager to take on everybody else's.
That seems pretty
What
protagonisty
will
of
we
him.
do with you? Here, let me see. You may not be able to feel pain, but that doesn't mean you can't be wounded, just like everyone else. If you're not more careful, you'll wind up dead without even realizing it one of these days.
I watched another slave die today. More corpses than I care to count.
Unfortunately, that's hardly a rare sight around these parts.
Danans are always dying, and the Renans just watch. How long can this continue? Why doesn't anyone stand and fight?
Keep your voice down, will you? If only it were so simple, my friend. There have certainly been uprisings, all right. 3 centuries worth of the damn things. As for all the good they've done, take a look around and judge for yourself.
I'm sure we can change that.
There. That should just about do it. Now, do me a favor and try to stay out of trouble so the wound doesn't open again.
Doc, back when I knew nothing, you were the one who taught me just how things work around here. You know I'll always be grateful for that, but I can't just...
The race is won by the calm and the steady. You're still young, you have time. Wait for the right moment, both for yourself and the world.
Sounds like
Work
a
will be
plan.
wrapping up for the day soon enough. Don't sit around here. Go out and feel the breeze against your skin. Even a slave's entitled to that.
Will do, Doc.
Just do me a favor and keep a low profile, all right? You stand out enough in that mask as it is.
Guess I'll go back to my room.
Hey there, bud. Are you okay? Thanks for saving me earlier. Oh, I can move faster now. Nice. Oh, and it shows you if you talk to an NPC, like if they've exhausted their dialogue. That's really nice. try not to cause too much trouble out there. You already stand out plenty as it is wearing that mask of yours. Don't I know it? What are you doing? Nobody said you could wander around embedded. Yeah, I noticed that the rest of these folks... Yeah, they have a little thing that is perhaps embedded is the term in their hands. I don't see one on our character here. That's probably going to be relevant. The bright eyes stick these weird stones in our bodies, and then we work to the bone until we're dead. As if the routine beatings from them weren't enough. When they're in a really bad mood, they like to sick their zoogles on us. These folks don't seem too talkative. I guess I don't blame them.
Just like everyone else here. So how come I don't have a spirit core?
Hmm.
Or a face, or memories for that matter? Not like worrying about it'll change anything.
What are you looking at? You looking to get your butt kicked too? No thanks, I'm good. Oh dear, are you alright? You're not moving. Well, we'll put an end to this soon enough, I'm sure. Every last one of you embeddeds will die, and then we can do whatever we want with you. Now burn! Yeah, what he said. This one almost... If it weren't for the fact that this is likely a corpse, this would almost seem like a nice scene. Fella hanging out with a creature. Go to bed, embedded, now! No matter how tired you get of seeing them, you can always find Rena and Lenegis hanging up there in the sky. I hate it. It's like they're watching over us, keeping an eye on our every move. That Lenegis especially is something else. There's no way we can hope to beat the Renans when they can build floating castles like that. Ever wonder what those bright eyes like to burn all over the place? I'll tell you, it's the fuel they make us mine for. There's no reason for us to do it. Once we do, they just take it and light it up, and that's why it's hot. It's so hot around here. Listen, whatever they do to you, don't even think about trying to fight back against them bright eyes, got it? I know. Not like any of us have a chance of ever beating one of those soldiers or their zoogles, let alone Lord Balsif. Shh! Don't talk about this in public, you two. Who knows what they'll do to us if they hear you guys? What are you trying to do? No approaching the water without permission, embedded.
I should get some rest.
Yeah, hopefully we'll soon be seeing some more pleasant vistas than burning landscapes and
in this bed before me.
tortured souls.
For now, but for how long? Tomorrow's another day. I guess I should get some shut-eye.
Also, are those rocks for pillows? Honestly, it feels like it'd probably be better to just not. Those are pretty big rocks, too.
I'd better head to work. So, I've got business with the freight train today, huh? Great.
Well, I suppose, it would not do to keep them waiting too long.
Great. Time to start another day toiling away for the Renans.
Yep.
Am I gonna do this until the day I die?
Not if I have anything to say about it. I want to talk to your team, boy.
Look lively, slaves. Let's see some work around here.
Yeah, for a second there I was worried that we would be pushing the train the whole way, but it seems that they do have some other modes of... Oh! Hello. Alright. Looks like just the break we were looking for.
Grenar!
Zephyr, she's here!
Oh dear. Well, that's why you don't touch people without their permission, I guess.
The hell? Come back!
Listen, don't try to catch her. The last guy who did that, it didn't work out very well. Oh, nope, that was a different train. Okay.
The girl's nowhere to be found.
Oh, nope, maybe it's the same train.
This hurts. Hey, embedded, did you find
No, that was
anything?
definitely a different train.
Not yet,
Okay.
sir. What do they expect from us on such short notice?
Oh, hi.
Hey, you're...
Over there! Don't move!
Go now! Hurry, get moving!
Uh-oh.
Stay still! You cost us a lot of trouble, you know. Now we can do this the easy way, or not.
Seems like not. Alright, let's get rolling.
It's just you.
Here they are! Forget the rebels! Focus on the girl! Jump over at the front! Take the girl along! It's expendable!
Armored soldiers!
Alright, looks like it's time for a combat tutorial. Or perhaps not. Now that's some dodging right there. Well, you can't dodge gravity. Gotta be careful of that. I guess that's kind of what flying is. Dodging gravity and all. Nice.
Come on!
Oh. Bad choice. Good effort, bad choice.
Away you go! Hope you can jump.
He has demonstrated that she is pretty good at jumping.
You all missed your chance to become Lord, which means you lot live and die for me, the mighty Balzath. Got that through your skulls? Now hurry up and bring me Shion. Yes, sir.
Seems like these folks don't get treated all that much better by their bosses, huh?
Someone's in a bad mood. Lord Wolsey, ruler of Orbis Calaglia. Ah, but it's wild beast you prefer, isn't it? Do forgive me.
Ganabelt Volkiris. What do you want?
From what I hear, you seem to be having some trouble over there in Calaglia. As a fellow lord, I merely thought to ask whether I could be of any assistance to you.
Enough with the false pretense. I can tell a rat when it's sniffing around.
Forgive me, I can only imagine the emotional toll failing to ascend the throne not once but twice must take. A most distressing state of affairs.
Shut up! It's none of your concern.
The crown contest is proceeding apace, and so quickly, I must say. It won't be long before the victor is crowned as the new sovereign.
I look forward to it, and you can be sure I won't forget our little chat.
Nor will I. Until next time.
Oh. I assume this must be the dream. Alright, we're up.
Where?
You awake?
I sure hope so.
Who are you?
The name's Tilsa. I'm the medical officer for the Crimson Crows. You're in one of our safe houses.
Alright.
Crimson Crows?
Don't tell me you've never heard of us. We're the Resistance, for the Danon people. We get in the way of the Bright Eye's best laid plans.
The Danon Resistance? I didn't know such a thing existed.
Oh, we exist all right. Though I guess we're not as famous as I thought we were.
It would seem so.
Seems like I know more about you than the other way around, Mr. Iron Mask. Is it true you can't take that thing off?
Yeah. Worse is that I don't even know why I'm wearing it.
A tragic fate, to be
That
sure.
woman I was with.
Oh, yeah. She's quite the character, isn't she?
Shocking
Zephyr should be
abilities she has.
interrogating her over in the Slammer as we speak.
You locked her up? Why?
Why? Go take a look for yourself if you're so interested.
They're interrogating her? Just what the hell is going on?
I'll let you. If you want to know something, I'll tell you what I can. Alright, we've got a lot of options available to us. Nice. What is this place? This is the old Zeon Mine, one of the Crimson Crow's safe houses. Abandoned mines like this are pretty commonplace. We have no shortage of places to hide out. If you want to know something, I'll tell you what I can. Alright, yeah. I told you, we're a resistance group fighting the Bright Eyes. Our goal is to liberate Calaglia from Rena. So injuries are a constant thing for us. It's distressing work for me as a medic. Who's Zephyr? Zephyr is the Crimson Crow's leader. He's not just physically strong, he's got real smarts. He's indispensable to us. Where's the woman? Gail's up ahead. Zephyr's interrogating her now. You can check if you're curious, but I wouldn't disrupt the interrogation if I were you. Who are you fighting? That seemed pretty clear, but, who else? The Renans ruling over Calaglia. The ones who came down from Lenegris have been giving us nightmares for the last 3 centuries. Of course, we can't even reach neighboring towns, much less Lenegis. So, our current target is the Renans at Calaglia, and their lord, Balseth. Alright.
I need to go and find out for myself.
Yeah. Oh, more people to talk to. Nice. Well, if it isn't the Iron Mask himself, good to see you, buddy. You know who I am? Not personally, but one of our guys, Nath, always knows what's going around Calaglia. Nothing people talk about gets past his ears. I heard him talking about you earlier, so once I saw you, I put 2 and 2 together, and now here we are. Everyone knows you as the buckethead who stands up to the armored soldiers and can take a beating from them like it's nothing at all. Guys like you don't come around often at all. It'd be weird if I didn't know about you somehow. The only reason the Bright Eyes want to mine through Calaglia so much is so they can get as much fire out of this realm as they possibly can. Interesting. Hey, I noticed you don't have a spirit core on your body. Did you dig it out yourself? You did really good not having any of the Bright Eyes catch you without one all this time. I'm impressed. I'm impressed too. They all referred to me as embedded. Try not to wander around too much. Fair enough.
Ah, damn it! So it wasn't a lie. The slightest touch is like being struck by lightning.
What are you doing? So you're finally awake, huh? What's
Well,
going
this
on?
interrogation doesn't seem
What
to be
did
going
she
very
ever-
well.
Mind your business. So even if you don't mean to hurt somebody, if they touch you, they get electrocuted, huh? It doesn't seem to be poison or magic. Is this the reason Balsef's soldiers were after you? For the last several days, Balsef's forces have been getting pretty restless. When we looked into it deeper, the word thorns came up over and over again. And now, we come across Miss Prickly herself.
Drop the attitude. Did you really think we wouldn't find out anything about you? Miss Shion Imaris? That's her name? You mean she's... what? You didn't figure it out already?
Listen,
Yeah, that's right. This lady's got herself a surname, which means one thing. She's a Renin, our enemy.
Yeah, but she was being chased by Renin soldiers. So then, why?
That's exactly what we're trying to figure out. After all, aside from the clothes they wear, there's only one way to tell a Danon from a Renin, and that's whether their eyes light up or not. Ain't that right, Bright Eyes?
Big talk for someone who can't even use astral arts. Embedded.
Don't you call us embedded! Look, you see the stone your people embedded in me? There isn't one. Because we gouged them out the day we swore to rise up against your kind. This scar's a reminder not to rest until every last one of you is...
yeah, show a bit of
We
restraint, my
Danons may
friend.
not be capable of using astral arts. But it looks like those thorns of yours won't do you much good in escaping here either.
Still, inflicting pain on anyone who comes near you. That's one hell of an ability.
You're wrong.
Uh-oh.
You think this curse is some kind of great ability?
Curse.
Fair enough. All I know is Balsef must have his eye on you for a damn good reason. And until we find out why...
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
They must have tracked us down. Evacuate as planned. Hurry! And bring the girl. If she gives you any trouble, wave a spear in her face.
Got it.
Hey, Iron Mask. Sorry, but right now it's everyone for themselves.
What about you?
I'm going to welcome our guests. Don't go dying on me.
Come on, move.
Be a short game if I
Don't
did.
try anything funny.
I was going to say that the weapon threatening would seem somewhat counterproductive, but I guess the weapons do have wooden halves on them, so they're probably... the spears do, so they're probably not the worst option to use against someone who shocks anyone who touches them. Yeah, a rusted longsword with a blade badly needed repair. Fighting with it is more like using a blunt weapon than a bladed one.
Enemy attack!
An ambush. Renins are here? I have to find an exit and get the hell out of here.
But first, if the Bright Eyes arrest you and try to make you rat anyone out, you have either two options: either break out or find a way to keep quiet permanently. What are those lookouts doing? How did Balsef's men find this place? I assume this isn't the way to go? No. Oh, I can jump. Nice. Jump, nap. Okay. I know the controls... There was a prompt with controls that showed up at one point, and I was not paying attention to it. If it wasn't for that armor and the Bright Eyes wear, I could totally take them one-on-one. They're just ordinary Renins underneath. There's nothing else that's special about them. Whoop. But all the machinery in their armor makes them way bigger and stronger than they otherwise would. I hate it. Those guys play dirt. Leave everything essential behind. We'll make do without it one way or another if we make it out alive.
Have these kinds of battles been going on this entire time? And I just didn't know.
It seems so. Yeah, as I was saying, there's a whole lot that we, as Iron Mask here, don't know so far. That bright-eyed woman took advantage of all the confusion and broke out. It's no use trying to take on the armored soldiers like this. It'll just mean more casualties for us to deal with later. Well, that's no good. Oop.
Stop right there! Oh, it's just a Danon. You there! Where's the Renin girl who was here?
I have no idea. I could not tell you if I wanted to.
Spit it out! I want an answer, Insurgent!
How's this for an answer? Go to hell!
You dare address a Renin armored soldier that way? I'll show you embedded!
And I'll show you that I'm not. Alright. Press R1 to perform a normal attack. At first, you can string up 3 normal attacks together, but by learning certain skills, this limit can be increased. Characters can also attack in midair after jumping. Arts. Arts are special actions performed by spending part of your AG, Arts gauge. Press triangle, square, or X to use the art assigned to each button. While AG will gradually restore automatically, it will restore more slowly when attacking. Push left stick and press R2 to evade an enemy attack. If you time it well as an enemy attack approaching, will perform a perfect evasion, allowing you to avoid taking any damage. Alright.
So much for playing nice. Alright, we're up.
Alright.
A real fight. Still, I have to do this.
Oh.
I won't go quietly.
So what do we have for arts? Okay, we do have... I suppose those are just normal arts and not astral arts, what with the inability to use astral arts. Of course, we don't know what our eyes are like, so we don't know whether or not we can't use astral arts, I suppose.
I won. I actually beat one of those Renin soldiers.
Nice, nice.
I've got to keep going. I have to survive this no matter what.
Alright. I'll clear the path for you guys, I suppose. Don't try to take on any armored soldiers yourself. You don't stand a chance of winning. Well, I've just proven you wrong, I'm afraid. Well, I don't know. You're welcome, I guess.
What's this thing?
Apple gel. Whoa. Alright, how do we change who we're locked onto? Do we have the option to do that? Yeah, so, oops. It seems a little bit obvious in hindsight now, but looking at the button prompt, I've seen it a couple times for the touchpad on the PS4 controller. But I don't know, not a lot of PS4 or not a lot of PC games I've played actually like show the button prompts for PS4 controllers. So I didn't know what that. Oh hey. All right. So that's what an astral art looks like, I suppose. Interesting, interesting. So yeah, not a lot of PC games that I've played with a PS4 controller actually show the button prompts for a PS4 controller. So I was trying to figure out what that button prompt could possibly be referring to back at the start when we were in that menu. Because clearly it wouldn't be any button specifically on the PS4 controller. Alright, nice, nice. Getting a feel for the combos a little bit. Yeah, what's our current status? Do we have any way of checking that? Oh, outfits. Oh, cool. cosmetics. Alright. Probably should have read that so that I knew what it was instead of just skimming over it very briefly, but you know. Ah, status, there we go. So it doesn't list my HP or anything, as far as I can tell. Oh hey. Nice. But yeah, it doesn't list my HP or anything. Title? Yes. So it doesn't list my HP or anything, so presumably it restores when you're not in combat. That's pretty nice. I thought that one was completely unarmed. How did she get a weapon? Not that I'm complaining. Saved me, that's for sure. Oh, she's very armed.
Be Mayor Imaris Daymore. I hereby detain you in the name of His Excellency Lord Bulseth.
Damn it!
Throw down
I was
your
so
weapon.
close. What the? You've got some kind of death wish? Those are armored soldiers you're...
Shut up and get out of here while you still can!
I've fought two of them already, it's fine.
These are Renan affairs you're meddling in.
Two at once isn't going to be that big of a deal.
We've got a better chance working together. Besides, I don't much feel like being indebted to a Danon.
Fine, suit yourself.
I don't much feel like hearing attitude from you, but I suppose we'll work on that as time goes on, I imagine. Combos are actions strung together with no gaps. Normal attacks have a set limit, while ours can continue until AG runs out. Normal attacks count separately on the ground and in the air. Using an art to go between them can thus extend a combo. Okay. So this is what I've been waiting for. Alright. During your combo, if the same art is used multiple times within 4 actions, its penetration will decrease and enemies will recover from it sooner. Continually doing so will raise these penalties, making arts half as effective at their harshest. Alright, alright.
To the wise, I call my own shot. Just stay out of my way and we'll get along quite well.
This is kind of new
flame
for me, if
trial.
you hadn't noticed. Don't expect any promises.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, oop.
These little
All
ones
right.
are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Nice, nice. Could have been a bit smoother, but we're learning.
Why did you help me?
Why wouldn't I?
What could a Danon like you possibly gain from helping a Renan like me?
I like being nice.
Trust me, I've no great love for Renans. I guess I'm just not as consumed with hatred as some.
What?
Have we met somewhere before?
Me? Friends with a Danon? Can't say I've had the pleasure.
Well,
That's a little bit
when you put it like
presumptuous.
that. Yeah, silly question. I don't remember anything about my past. Don't have any clues to go on either. Not even my own face.
Let me get this straight. You don't know what you look like, but you thought I might somehow recognize you?
That's it.
Something like that. Guess my helping you back there wasn't as self-sacrificing as I made it out to be. Besides, I can't feel pain anyway. So it's not like...
Wait, you really can't feel pain?
Sure can't.
Yeah. It's just another thing I don't have. No pain, no face, no memories. I only know one thing about myself, and that's that I'm a slave.
Not for long.
What about your name? You must have one, right?
Sure
Iron
don't.
Mask. Got the name from the person who found me. Said that this way I wouldn't forget I had a real name out there somewhere.
I see.
So where to next?
Outside, silly. What do you think we fought all this way for?
Yeah, I guess that was a bit of a silly question.
Stay sharp. We're going in.
Alright. I hope we're going out, actually, but I get what you're saying. Yes, the indicator in the bottom right corner of the screen. Alright.
Can you even see out of that thing? Like, at all?
Of
I sure
course
can.
I can. How else do you think I managed to avoid tripping everywhere I go?
What is that thing anyway? It doesn't look like anything Dan and I've ever seen.
Beats me. I don't remember anything about my past. When I came to, I was already wearing it. If I could get it off, I would. Damn thing makes it hard to eat. and I can't scratch my face when it
Oh
itches.
yeah,
It's the
I can relate.
worst.
I can relate.
Honestly, I'm just impressed you've managed to survive this long looking like that. I'm sure you attract attention wherever you go.
Well, I don't go very
Most of
many
the other
places, to be
Danas
honest.
Don't pay it any mind. It's in everyone's best interest to just keep their heads down, focus on their work, and pretend they don't notice.
What about the Renan soldiers? Didn't they notice?
They almost certainly don't
guards.
care.
They're more the kill first, ask questions later type. Be in the wrong place or step out of line and you're dead. Mask or no mask. That said, as long as you keep your head down and don't cause trouble, they mostly ignore you. Honestly, sometimes they don't look all that keen to stir up trouble themselves. A friend of mine said it's because if they kill us without a good reason, it could delay the work and put them behind schedule. At that point, it'd be their necks on the line. You should know more about all that than me, though, right?
Yeah, this isn't really a system that's good for basically anyone other than
But I see
the
what
lords,
you mean.
probably.
After 3 centuries of Renan rule without much upheaval, it's possible the soldiers might be losing their edge. All this trouble we've caused might be the first excitement they've had in a while.
Well, I don't plan on getting killed for their amusement.
Glad to see you made it.
You sure did.
I heard you managed to escape, but I didn't expect to see old Iron Mask with you. In any case, we're all wanted by the Renans. It'll be easier for everyone if you both just come with me.
Fair enough.
Where are the others?
They're waiting for us up ahead. Come on.
Cutscene. Animated cutscene. I guess they're all animated.
Stay where you are, dissidents.
Oh, that guy's got a
Just
cape.
look
He's
at all
important.
these soldiers. How badly did they want to destroy this hideout?
Probably pretty bad.
Apprehend the traitor. Slaughter the rest.
Not the best ranged weapon you could have chosen, but I guess it's all you had on you. Well, that's no good.
Sion! Sion!
Concerning. Oh? Maybe not the time or the place to be drawing an arrow out, but I guess it seems like this has led to an exciting new development. A sword.
A blazing sword? But how?
I don't know any more than you do, my friend.
Impossible.
The Master Core. He was embedded within her all along. No matter.
Well, that would explain why
Kill
they
her
want
if
her.
you have to. Just retrieve the core. Attack!
Well, you see, now I have a flaming sword. Which means I can do things like this. Alright, smart move, archers. Very interesting development indeed.
You okay?
Your arms!
Yeah, she looks a lot better than
Well,
we do
yeah.
at this point.
How about that? Guess it's just as well I can't feel it, huh?
You're not in agony? Wait, are you serious?
No, we're good. I'm good.
Hold still.
Huh?
Oh, now I'm really good.
It's one of my healing arts.
Thank you.
A sword that sears the hand of he who wields it, and a healing art to mend. A man numb to pain, and a woman whose very touch deals nothing but.
Very poetic there.
Thank you.
All right, let's rout the bastards and finish them off before the surviving stragglers have a chance to regroup. Iron Mask, you coming?
Definitely. I'm not about to go back all that way alone.
So I guess you're not planning on releasing me, huh?
Sorry, you're coming with us.
In that case, there's one thing you should know. No one uses that flaming sword without my say-so.
No problem,
You
no
need to
problem.
worry on that score. I doubt many of us could get close to it in the first place, or would want to.
The blazing sword. It just might be strong enough to match the power of a lord. No, maybe even to surpass it.
That sounds
Are you
promising.
sure you're okay?
What do you mean?
Well, you did get shot in the chest.
That soldier nailed you pretty good. Not to mention those flames bursting from you.
They only hit my master core, so
Ah.
I'll be fine.
Of course, of
And the
course.
flames weren't even hot. It's probably because they're just a manifestation of the astral energy.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, I'm more surprised that you really are incapable of feeling pain.
Did you think I was faking?
No, I believed you. I guess seeing you stay calm while bearing those burns to your hands just really made it hit home for me.
Fair enough.
It's ironic. I have no problem hurting anyone who touches me. But as soon as I try to wield that sword, it's me who gets hurt.
Do you wish
Yeah,
you were
fire.
impervious
Yeah, that
to
makes
pain
sense.
too? You realize you could burn your fingers off without even noticing, right?
So what? All I need right now is power. And up until now, I haven't come across anything stronger than that blazing sword the whole time I've been doing this.
Fair.
You really don't care what happens to you as long as you get what you're after, do you?
Don't talk like you know me.
Ah. You... You're right. I don't get you. I don't get why you're so quick to throw it all away. Not when us slaves have never had a choice in whether we lived or died.
You befriended Shion. It really doesn't feel like I have, but I guess that's what friendship is like sometimes. Ever teamed up with your party. Nice. Shion's fighting style. Shion specializes in gun-based long-range strikes and astral arts. Use her to hit enemies from a safe distance and use healing arts on allies with low HP. Healing arts cost CP to use, so mind your CP total. Shion's auto mode. When auto mode is enabled, the Shion will primarily target flying and astral art wielding enemies, as well as those with lower HP during combat. So presumably I can switch characters then. Yes. Well, yes, I know I can switch characters. Presumably I can switch characters now, then, I suppose is more the point that I was going for. Yes, from what little I've seen of this game, I know that you can switch characters, and if I remember correctly, you can even switch characters during combos, which allows you to string together very long and very cool looking combos. Yes, cure points. Arts with healing and support effects consume cure points in addition to arts gauge. Was it arts gauge or art gauge? I guess it doesn't matter. Cure points are shared across the party and can be restored with items or by staying at an inn or campground. Can be raised by leveling up or finding specific items. Interesting. So healing is a limited resource. That would almost seem to imply that your hit points don't get restored every time you're out of combat. So presumably I do have hit points somewhere. Oh, now I have hit points. Okay, so maybe I just didn't have hit points during the tutorial or something. Fair enough. Or maybe that indicator was there this whole time and I just didn't see it. Art settings here. You can assign arts that you learn to each of the different buttons. You can set 3 arts to use while on the ground, plus an additional 3 arts to use in the air for a total of 6 equivalent art. Oh. Well, I didn't want to skip through that, but oh well. Alright. All of our aerial arts are the same, because we only have one, we've seen. And yeah, they seem to be air-specific, or air-non-specific. So yeah, so this Rising Wyvern is a strike that knocks enemies into the air, and Mirage is a strike that knocks enemies down. So I suppose that's going to be our main combo. 3-hit combo, Rising Wyvern, 3-hit combo, Mirage, so on and so forth. And that's all we've got. First Aid, a beginner's healing art that slightly restores one ally's HP, an advanced healing art that heals KO from one ally. It's really nice that you get the res ability, like, right away. Magna Ray, fires a ray of light that pierces an enemy. Alright, no aerial attacks on Shion, fair enough. Let's see what she can do. 5 realms. 5 distinct regions of Dana divided in... Alright, fair enough. And this ravine. Ooh, this place is... Yeah, when they said that they were just burning stuff everywhere all the time, they really were not overstating things, huh? Land of brimstone and swirling ash, Orbis Calaglia.
That's...
Glanimede Castle, stronghold of Lord Balsef, self-imposed ruler of all Calaglia.
I've never seen it from this close before.
That's it, all right. And next to it are the gates of fire. Take a good long look while you still can. That wall is what we've come to tear down.
Sounds like a plan.
The only thing standing between us and freedom.
Freedom.
Let's go.
Proactive, aren't we?
Be careful. If you get close to a Zoogle, they'll attack.
Fair enough. Making contact with an enemy icon will initiate a battle. Beating all the enemies in a given fight will earn you XP and other rewards, but be careful. Alright, I didn't really get a chance to read the rest of that, but it seemed to be something along the lines of, if you all get knocked out, it'll be bad. Which seems like a fair assumption. Alright, during combat, press the options menu, press option, while in the menu to change your character's control mode. Semi-auto automatically moves until an attack range. Manual, full control, auto fights based on set strategy. Semi-auto mode is designed for players who only wish to casually dabble in combat, meanwhile manual mode is for those seeking full control, while auto mode lets the game take the reins. Alright. Oops. Oh wait, no. Wait. Yeah, it was options, right? Is this the right menu? Hold on.
Don't go charging off like that.
Yep, sorry, hold on. Press option while in the menu. Okay. Okay. I'll try not to. Okay, so yeah, now that we definitely have a health bar where we didn't before. Alright, so it seems that the Rising Wyvern doesn't necessarily always knock enemies into the air. Presumably that has something to do with the break mechanic. Or the break prop that I've been seeing come up.
Don't fight any enemies you can otherwise avoid, alright?
Makes sense. If we try to take them all on, there'll be no end in sight.
You
Hey
sure
there,
won't
guy.
hear me complaining.
I'm sure we probably could fight that fellow. Antidote rock. Something that keeps microbes at bay as it breaks down toxins. Storing it together with food will make that food last long.
Weird
Nice.
stone.
I sense a strange power from it. We should gather as many as we can find.
Alright. Careful with camera angles when following the Shion. Life bottle. Nice.
This is...
Seems you found something good. Supplies like that are valuable. Never overlook them.
Of course not, of course not.
I'll remember that.
Ah, this looks like a campsite here.
Let's stop a moment to catch our breath.
But I've barely worked up a sweat.
Speak
Well,
for
you don't-
yourself.
You don't
What do you want,
you don't have pain. You don't have
Doesn't
any
look
ability
like we're
to
being
feel pain.
followed.
So,
Fail to grab these rare moments of quiet when you can. You'll end up regretting it later.
You're the boss.
it is interesting to think how living a life where you can't feel pain would necessarily mean that you do have to be more careful than you would otherwise, because you won't have sort of that immediate feedback when something is going wrong with your body, or when you've been injured or whatnot. You have to check yourself a lot and rely on other signs, presumably. Camping out. Resting at a campground will restore your party's HP and cure points, and watch skits and cutscenes that you previously viewed.
Normally, we should take turns standing guard. But this first time, I'll watch over things so you two can rest easy.
Thanks.
I've never
very
just
kind.
sat and watched a fire like this before. It's surprisingly soothing.
Well, aren't you getting comfortable? You realize there are still Zoogles prowling around out here, right?
It's fine, it's fine.
Ah, don't be a spoil sport. It's important to let your mind and spirit relax. Does you a lot more good than you might think.
Indeed. That's a lesson that I've been learning recently.
Zephyr, why aren't you concerned about who I am?
You feeling left out, son?
No, it's not that. But
You said you wanted to fight so that you can live a free man. At this point, that's all that matters.
Fair enough.
Even if it somehow turned out you were a Renin, it wouldn't be such a big deal.
Huh. I'm glad about your enlightened attitude there.
Until we know who you are, we can't rule anything out. Besides, we've already got Shion with us. At this point, what's one more Renin as long as they're on our side?
so you don't see every Renin as an enemy?
Our goal isn't to hunt down and kill all Renins. We only arm ourselves as much as we need to set ourselves free. If you can believe it, not every Danon agrees with what we're doing either.
Are you saying we have enemies among the Danons?
Not quite. They're just not up for rebelling, per se. The thing you have to remember is that everyone has their own path to walk.
I'm not sure I understand.
That's okay. Just focus on what we have to do right now. However, the time will come when you'll need to decide what to do for yourself.
Alright.
How come you
More-
don't have a scar
More
on your hand?
information.
A scar? What do you mean?
The Crimson Crows all tore off their own spirit cores, right?
They sure did. I'm not one of them, though.
Your hand doesn't show any signs of ever having a core like theirs. Why not?
I don't know. I don't remember anything about myself from before Doc found me.
Seriously? You have that mask, you don't feel any pain, and you just happen to know how to fight with a sword? No way. You must remember something.
Listen, this sort of
not
improbable,
lying, if that's what you
stuff
think.
happens all the time.
Believe me, I wish I knew who the hell I am. But I don't. It's funny how I didn't have any time for soul searching while digging up rocks in a mine.
Still,
Are you saying you've told us everything about yourself?
Zephyr,
It's bad manners to pry when you've got plenty to hide yourself.
you're not gonna ask me about my past too?
Only when I think it's necessary. You're a real man of mystery, I'll admit. That said,
Sure, for
I'm not
sure.
one to dig around in someone's business just out of curiosity. If you remember something and feel like sharing, you're free to do so. For now, I think that's good enough.
Right. Thank you.
These cuts, the skits
so
are
this
structured
whole
very
you
interesting.
not feeling pain thing,
I like
is that
this,
for real?
this mechanic.
Why would I lie about it? And
Why would
you
I
care
lie about
anyway?
No, it's just, you know, I can't imagine what it's like, that's all.
As a slave, I'd say it has its advantages and disadvantages.
Oh?
On the upside, when Renin soldiers push me around, I hardly flinch. The downside's that I get injured without even noticing. Which means I could be knocking on death's door and not even realize it.
Like we were
Really?
talking about earlier.
Sure, I may be numb to pain, but it doesn't make me immortal or anything. Still, I wouldn't have noticed any of this if someone hadn't pointed it out to me. If not for my fellow slaves, I'd be long dead, lying in a ditch somewhere.
Alright, looks like that's all the skits we have for now. I guess we'll take a quick rest.
A Master Core, huh?
Let's
Now
see.
I see. So that's why Balsef's cronies were so desperate to catch her.
Is that what it's called? The jewel in her chest?
Oh, right. You don't remember a damn thing, do you? Fair enough. Guess it's time to fill you back in.
Oh.
Tell me, you ever wonder why we Danans are made to work ourselves to the bone, day in, day out?
Well, when you put it like that, I always just assumed we were mining resources for them.
And don't you think it'd be quicker if they used all that high-powered tech they have? Why go to all the trouble of relying on weak human labor? Listen, what the Renans are really after isn't resources or minerals. It's astral energy. They're harvesting the astral energy that sleeps inside all matter in life forms. And they're doing it the same way they have for the past 300 years, using us Danans as mere siphons.
Right. They have machines for minerals, but extracting from Danans requires spirit cores. Any astral energy collected passes through a spirit vessel on its way to being stored in a master core.
But why go to the trouble of collecting all this energy in the first place? Do they really need all that juice just to use astral arts?
Well,
It determines the sovereign.
astral arts can be pretty
Sovereign?
powerful, I would imagine.
Is that the Renan ruler?
They seem pretty strong so far.
Exactly. 5 lords, each doing whatever it takes to gather as much astral energy as they can and store it in their master cores. Whichever of them manages to accumulate the most power at the end of their contest is crowned the ruler of the Renan motherland. A new crown contest, as they call it, is held every decade or so.
So you see, the Master Cores are the receptacles in which the Lords store their power. And we Danans are sacrificed, so the Renans can choose their new ruler.
That's insane! You're telling me that's what our people have been dying for this whole time?
Relax, hero. You're not the only one who's bent out of shape about the whole thing.
Yeah. It's a pretty nasty scene one way or the
There
other.
are 2 things that I haven't been able to get my head around yet. What business would a Renan have stealing a Master Core? And what's the deal with that blazing sword?
I think the sword is a physical manifestation of the Master Core's astral energy.
Seems a fair assumption.
As for why it took the shape of a sword, well, I don't know any more than you do. Honest.
And that stuff about needing your permission to use it? What was that about?
I'm the only one of us who can control the Master Core to some extent. Without me to adjust the flow of astral energy, the sword can't take a physical form.
What do you want out of this?
Also, it's rude to steal
You may be
someone's
one
sword
of them,
without their
but you don't strike me as the
their
ruthless
permission.
oppressor type.
I'm going to take down all of the lords.
Sounds like a plan. I'm in.
Never thought I'd say this, but I like the cut of your jib, Renan. Very well. As far as we're concerned, the struggle continues either way. And with that sword on our side, our chances of victory just increased. That is, of course, assuming we can count the 2 of you in.
Fine by me. After all, it sounds like we're after the same thing anyway.
Honestly, I'm still a little confused by all this.
Fair enough.
But if it's a choice between this or going back to being a slave, then I choose to fight.
That's the spirit.
Then it's settled. Together we'll overthrow the Renan Lords. And first up on that chopping block is Balsef, the wild beast. Sound good?
Sounds like as good a plan as any. Seem a little bit hesitant there. Oh. Seems like I'm not the only one who has a strange dream.
I've gotta hurry.
We have another secret hideout in Ulzebek, not far from here. We should be able to meet up with our comrades there.
Alright. Another antidote rock. Nice. Yeah, I gotta say, it's very interesting.
Camping out.
Yeah, I imagine it's hard to keep your very nice dress clean in a place like this. Really, just with all the burning and smoke going on in general. Lovely day out today.
Cut it out. Didn't anyone ever tell you it's rude to stare?
It is a little
I
bit.
know I already asked you this, but are you sure we haven't met somewhere before?
What's so hard to understand? I'm Renan, you're Danon. There's no way.
Fair enough.
Besides, I'm from Lenegus. Trust me, wherever you were before you lost your memory, we've never crossed paths.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Lenegus? You mean the same Lenegus that's up in the sky? I've heard it called the Renan's Castle, but I never imagined people actually lived up there.
Well then, where did you think we all lived? Didn't you see the Renan Lords descend for the crown contest?
I have no way of
And
knowing
how
that.
long ago was that?
Well, the current contest started 7 years ago, so...
Then I wouldn't remember.
Just how far back do you remember?
About a year, give or take. That's how long ago Doc found me.
1 year. Then no. I'm sorry, but there really is no way we could have met.
Guess not.
Very interesting. Anyway, let's get a move on. Plant, nice. Wheat, ooh.
We should be able to eat this. Whenever you find some, make sure to grab it.
Probably shouldn't eat just wheat, but
Definitely.
ooh, a bag. Yeah, nice. Water.
That is
Hi.
one enormous stray.
I don't think we can take it right now.
Should we risk it? Oh, hey. Giant noodles. Well, yeah, we're getting kind of close to the end here.
We've almost made it to Ulzebek.
Mushroom. Well, we rested pretty recently, and our next destination isn't too far away. So let's give this a try.
Fear of that Zoogle if I were you.
Ooh, level 43.
We don't have much choice.
Looks like that maybe wasn't the best idea. Is there... Well... Cannot flee. Oh dear.
Stay away from my friend.
I was a little bit overconfident there.
Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Take this!
Yeah, we're gonna be here for a long time. I guess you can just hit me if you want.
Over?
Alright. Party wipes out a normal fight and loses. It costs CP to recover in that same area. While you will still return to the same area even with no cure points, you won't recover HP. And the retreating to accrued cure points can still be watched.
What was I thinking?
Yeah. You know what? Fair enough. So how are we doing for... Yeah, we're not doing too badly for points. So I guess we can probably... Oh. Alright, hopefully these fellows are a little bit easier to tackle.
I'll take you all on.
Try harder!
How's this? See ya. Rising Wyvern. Guess we gotta roll
Okay, now it's broken. Okay, okay.
Could you try to be less patronizing?
I didn't mean nothing by it.
Alright, alright.
I won't rest until I'm the best I can be.
Oh, bird.
Striving to be on par with the Lord?
You simply can't be too strong when battle is a part of your
Yes, a
everyday.
dog tail resembling that of a wise, noble Shiba Inu, which, when combined with a set of ears, makes it tempting to run around barking everywhere. Oh, the owl also has a
That's an
tail.
unusual bird.
It's an owl. They're often used as a symbol to represent ancient Dana.
Interesting. Okay, okay. I guess this, probably some of the... Yeah, there's at least a prompt that I accidentally skipped. So it might be here somewhere. Unfortunately, I don't know which one it was. Ah, okay. Swordmasters specialize in close quarters combat. Sports an array of fast arts that chain well together, as well as long distance and aerial arts, making him well suited to face any foe dawn that throws at him. When auto mode is enabled, Iron Mask will primarily target enemies with lower HP in combat. Alright, fair enough. I suppose we'll engage with some more of these armadillos.
Normally I don't pick on the weak.
Oops.
You're surrounded. Just stay calm.
A little bit low on HP. Okay, so that's how we change target. Oops.
Now, are you?
No, I refuse to let it end like this.
Nice, nice.
What I want to hear.
Alright.
Everything's coming up, Zephyr.
More wheat, nice. Another bag. An orange gel.
What could this be?
It seems that these armadillos were perhaps being transported somewhere. Did I just see an armadillo? I thought I did. But yeah, I'm not... So far, it doesn't seem as though I can switch characters in combat, but perhaps I just haven't unlocked that yet. Or maybe they need to be in manual mode. Hey there.
Right, here goes.
Yeah, let's, yeah, manual. Alright, I did just see switch battle character. But I was under the impression that there was like a, there was like a quick in-combat way to switch characters. Whoops. But I do want to try using Shion. So, whoop, okay, so we do have to aim. Good to know. Oops. Well, didn't mean to do that, but oh well.
That was almost too easy.
Parallax Stone. Stone can relieve numbness when rubbed, making it prized by those who have to maintain the same posture for extended periods during work. Yeah, not as much combo variety for Shion here, it doesn't seem like. Alright, let's see where this leads us. We are getting a little bit late here. Oh, we're already in Nullsback. Nice. I was expecting it to take a little bit longer, but no, we're good, actually.
Okay, people, this is it. Ulzebek.
Nullsback.
No
Alright.
sign of any Renin guardsmen.
The Renins aren't as populous as the Danans. Probably figure stationing guards in a place like this would be a waste of precious manpower.
So this is where the next safe house is?
Yes. The last place they'd think to look for enemies is on their own doorstep.
That is, assuming anyone actually made it here before us.
Zephyr!
Alright, someone made it here before us. Nice.
Looks like we needn't have worried. Come on.
And I really hope our friend Iron Mask here can get some new clothes suit. He looks a little bit out of place with his rusty sword and his ragged. I don't even know what.
Keep standing around or what?
Sorry, I'm just getting prepped over here.
I'm in the middle of talking to the viewers. Give me a moment. But yes, I hope that Iron Mask can get some nicer clothes soon and a nicer sword. Everyone else has. I mean, Shion's got like her cool white dress. She's got her white gun, white hair. She's completely white shoes. She's like she's completely coordinated. That's the word I'm looking for. And Zephyr's also got less of a coordinated outfit, but he's got an outfit that doesn't look like it's been worn and burned down pretty heavily. Oh, so you're the new recruit that Zephyr brought in, huh? I wouldn't call myself a recruit, really. Oh, really? Well, we've all heard plenty about you, so if you ever decide to join up with us, you'll definitely be more than welcome. Is there anything you want to know? What is this place? This is Olzadek. It's a Donan enclave like many others in this realm. Unlike Mozdol, which is mainly a mining area, this place produces food and other daily essentials. Bright Eyes rarely show their faces here, which is why we made it our headquarters. Anything else you want to know? What's the situation? Our friends have made it back from the old Xeon mine. Unfortunately, not everyone made it out of there alive. We have to make sure that their sacrifices won't be in vain. Am I really that famous? Why are you surprised? Of course you're famous, tough guy. Hard for people to not to notice you wearing that mask of yours. And as if that's not enough, you're always going out of your way to help people and make life less miserable. It's no wonder people talk about you. With that reputation, I say you definitely belong with the Crimson Crows. Alright, catch you around. Just look out for armored soldiers and Zeugles when you go out, okay? So yeah, the game is definitely assuming that we're playing as Iron Mask right now. So maybe we should, so as to make it a little bit less silly. Water. Oh. Alright, we're not allowed to get this close to the water without permission either. Oh, there we go.
Should this really be here?
I imagine she's talking about Iron Mask. Probably shouldn't be standing in the well. I guess it's not very deep for a well. I guess probably it would be a cistern? Well, a reservoir perhaps. Who knows? Come on, quit standing around talking. We've got water to carry. Well, you saw all those Crimson Crows members. They were hurt. Those Bright Eyes must have got them. I wonder if we're next. I don't know. Dad says the Bright Eyes can't afford to just kill their workers, but maybe they changed their mind. Well, the Crimson Crows weren't exactly workers. They were the opposite of workers, I would say. I can make just about anything. Food, clothing, furniture. Not that there's anything left to make things with. I wonder how much longer this fighting will go on. There are so many Crimson Crows who have gotten injured and killed because of it. Who knows? I just hope things don't get any worse. It sends chills down my spine thinking about what might happen if they make the Renans any angrier. Hard at work there, I see. Seems this is an inn. Nice. Rim World. The term used to...
Looks like we get to sleep with a roof over our heads.
Nice. Probably not going to do that right away, though. I don't have anything interesting to sell you all, but you're more than welcome to take a look at and see what I've got. Alright, you gotta sell your wares with more confidence than that. Come on. You gotta have confidence that your wares are worth buying. So yes, life bottle. Scrap meat. Perhaps have leftover meat from various animal parts, though a little unseemly. With preparation can be eaten just fine. Alright, we don't have any gold, unfortunately, so we can't purchase anything. But, oh well. A hearty fish that can survive even in poor water. It's best to cook it before eating, as consuming it raw is dangerous. Alright, we can sell things. I don't know that we want to right away. Oh, okay. So the parallax stone is a curative item. I wonder if they are... Okay, yeah. Consumables. Materials. weapons, armor, accessories, accessory materials. Oh, actually. Oh no, so this isn't a curative item, per se. It's presumably a crafting material that you can use to give yourself various bonuses. Oh, they can in fact have various bonuses on them. Right. Other. Come back anytime. You're welcome to sleep here if you like. You'll have to fix your own beds, you fix your own food, but the beds are nice and soft. Alright, let's take a quick nap. We've been walking for all of about 20 minutes, and I for one am exhausted. Probably not even 20 minutes, to be honest. I guess we did get some fights and got attacked by various creatures. So we could be better. I mean, we got attacked by one heck of a creature, to be sure. Let's take a quick sip. Sit. Alright, that's where we need to go. So clearly we should wait a little bit before going there. It is getting quite late. I started the stream late, and so it's going late. So, I don't know, I might want to save that for later. Or I might not, who knows. I guess I don't know how long the cutscene's going to be. After working with my hands all my life, I can't hardly see nothing with these old eyes anymore. The road over there leads to the Iglia Waste. You won't find any Renans since it's all just ruins and abandoned villages, but it's crawling with stray Zugals, so be careful if you go there. That seems like the sort of place we'll probably end up going one of these days. Sounds like there's a bit of a ruckus close by. Did something happen? I don't know what's going on around here. As long as it don't make my life any harder, though, I don't give a hoot. It's been a long and hard struggle making it to this age as it is. My creaky old body can't take much more. I've lived in Calaglia all my life, so I like to think I can take a little heat. This is really pushing it. And that's why we've got to stay hydrated. Can't afford to collapse from heat stroke while looking out for Renans. Well, I'm doing my part to stay hydrated. I hope you're doing yours as well. Seems like there was a big commotion earlier, so I decided to hide in here and wait. Do you think it's finally safe for me to come out? No comment. I don't know what's about to go down here. We gotta stay vigilant for signs of armored soldiers. We can't have a repeat of what happened in the old Xeon mine. Let's see. Okay, so we can't jump up onto ladders, unfortunately. But what we can do is take an entire crate with us.
What's this thing?
It's me. I can't jump. Oh, there we go. Yes, we can. We can jump down. Nice. Acrobatics. You alright? These injuries should heal eventually. And when they do, I'm gonna get sent back to Mosgol. Doubt I'm gonna make it out of there alive this time. I'm short on both supplies and manpower over here. Guess I've got no choice but to ask the Crimson Crows for help again. So, I've been thinking of joining up with the Crimson Crows. You? With them? What can you do? Your body is so weak. I can still fight. I have to. It's for our kids. Give them a future. You've got to understand. I know, but... hard times for everyone, it seems. Well, let's go see what's going on up here, and then we'll conclude for the night, I do believe. These are the rations we managed to swipe back from the Bright Eyes. You're welcome to have some, just make sure they don't see you with them. Thanks. I'll be careful. My kids are starving over here, and they somehow expect us to keep them fed on next to nothing. By all means, your kids are more than welcome to have them. It makes the risk we take getting these rations much more worthwhile. Not much more worthwhile. Oh, I don't remember Nate's voice. I'm glad you're okay. Quick, get inside. Alright.
Zephyr, you made it!
Sure
See?
did.
I told you there's no way Zephyr would have kicked the bucket.
Fine, you were right. So, what's the plan?
Well, we've got an ace up our sleeve and the enemy's in disarray. I say we strike while the iron's hot.
The iron's always pretty hot around
So
here, I
we're
imagine.
finally going head to head with Balsef.
That's right. We can't afford to mess this up. It's now or never.
Then now it is. We've all been waiting for this day for far too long.
Leave the plan to me. In the meantime, yeah, you two need to do something about your outfits.
Just what I was saying earlier. Glad we're on the same wavelength.
I have just the thing for your size. Stay right there, okay?
Sounds good.
Ta-da! I told you, it fits like a dream.
Nice.
I'm afraid we don't have any Renin clothing. I could find you some Danon outfits. But something tells me you'd rather pass.
It is a nice
Is this
dash.
really that important?
In case you need reminding, I'm here because our interests overlapped. Nothing more. At no point did I say I've given up being a Renin.
Now, let's play nice. How about you ask Nate and see what he says?
Closed.
He's our one-stop shop for info around here. With any luck, he might just know something.
Ocean Blue Battle Guard. Ocean blue clothing received from Tilsa that was made by stitching together pieces of cloth that the Crimson Crows collected. So I guess I'll see what everyone else here has to say, and then we'll wrap up, I think. Are we really going to bet it all on Iron Mask and his Renin lady friend? I'm not sure I like our odds. Well, if Zephyr says they're good, it must be true. We'll just have to trust them. You're not only new around here, you don't remember much at all, alright? Well, if you got any questions, lay them out and I'll see what I can tell you. What's your group's goal? I feel like we understand this pretty well, but let's see what she says about it. Ideally, we'd like to drive out the Renins, but as I'm sure you know, they've got us more than sorted out. For now, we're mostly waiting for a chance to strike as we sabotage what we can, gather intel, and help other slaves along the way. Although, apparently, our big chance is right around the corner, if Zephyr and the rest are to believe. Anything else you wanted to talk about? How do the Renins fight? We fight Bright Eyes using those huge armored suits and fight using... the Bright Eyes fight, wear those huge armored suits and fight using astral arts and sticking their Zugals on people. There we go. Speaking from the wrong perspective there. You're dead meat if you try to take them head on. So we have to fight using greater numbers or by taking advantage of the terrain. Most of us aren't like Zephyr. We can't take them all on alone one-on-one, unlike him, unfortunately. That's why we're so glad to have you two on board with us. We could use all the help we can get. Anything else you wanted to ask about? What are you guys doing at Ulzebek? Ulzebek is one of the enclaves where Danon slaves live. It's mostly responsible for reducing food. Bright Eyes don't have any outposts here and hardly come through on patrol, which is what made us decide to set up shop here. In exchange for agreeing to keep quiet about our whole presence, we give out supplies to the residents, help them with their needs. Also, it doesn't hurt that nobody's a fan of the Bright Eyes either, though. Anything else you wanted to know about? What can you tell me about the Renins? Big planet in the sky is their homeworld, Rena, while these smaller objects, Lenegis, their stronghold, and where the Bright Eyes come from. Oh, about that name, we call them Bright Eyes because their eyes light up whenever they use their astral arts. Pretty simple, right? Likewise, they love to call us embeddeds since we're all embedded with the spirit core as soon as we're born. But when someone joins the Crimson Crows, they dig theirs out, a way of showing that we're not slaves to anybody any longer. The big shot Renan's in charge, the lords, they wear different outfits from the rest. They're made of weird fabric that stick out like a sore thumb. What are Zeugles? Zeugles are the monsters you often see tagging along with bright eyes. I couldn't tell you how many different kinds there are, but I know that they're all nasty and real dangerous. And there are also feral ones. You'll find wandering around outside. Most of those escape from their keepers, all those strays. What are astrolates? But the bright eyes refer to the powers that they use. They're basically like a kind of magic. Donans can't use astrolates for themselves. It makes the Renans as much of a pain to deal with as their Zeugl pets. And looks like we are out of topics to discuss. Alright, well, if you think of something you need to know, just let me know. Need to ask, let me know. Nate's still talking to the others. We'll find him outside. We should go say hi to him. The other members and I are going to devise a plan of attack. I have to let them know that I intend to make you guys the centerpiece of the whole operation. Fair enough. But yes. I don't know if the game auto-saves. Thank you for your input, whoever that was. That sounds like an owl. And it sounds like it's up here somewhere. Rabbit ears. Alright. They look big enough to pick up even the quietest conversations. If there's one thing I know,
I'm surprised there are owls here,
not
too.
everyone who wears bunny ears
more of them around than I
is
thought.
innocent. But yes, we've encountered 2 whole owls. We've also got another skip here.
Try to be careful not to stand out too much. You're the only Renan around here, you know.
I know. I was just thinking about how communal it feels here, even though it's only supposed to be slave quarters.
Huh? Oh, yeah. When you put it like that, I guess it is different from heavily patrolled Mosgul. Were you expecting something more depressing?
Almost certainly.
It's likely a sign that Balsef doesn't think you guys can do anything to him.
What?
I mean, if Balsef thought the Crimson Crows actually posed a threat to him, you'd figure he'd be trying harder to suppress them.
You...
No, that is true.
You're probably right about that. All of the other Danans that aren't with the Crimson Crows accept the Renan's rule as simply a fact of life.
That was us. Well, not too
From the
long
day
ago.
we're born. No, probably even before that. It's been drilled into us that the only purpose our lives have is to help select the next sovereign.
If they don't like the status quo, then they should fight it. Otherwise, they're endorsing it either way.
It's
I
not
see
that
it
easy, but I get
differently.
your point.
That's just me. Speaking of Renans, do all of them think about things the way you do?
I won't deny that among my fellow Renans, power and status are everything. However, that isn't what this is about for me. I have something I need to do, and I'll do whatever it takes and use whoever and whatever I need in order to get the job done. To hell with power.
Fair enough. Yes, I still haven't seen any indicators that look terribly like a, you know, like an indicator that the game has just saved. So I'm going to maybe rest at the inn and see.
Looks like we get to sleep with a roof.
You sure do. Don't work too hard out there. Yep. Alright, we're going to assume that we're good. Current play data will be lost. Hold on. Ah, okay, there's how we save. Alright. Problem solved. So, now we'll wrap up. Because yes, it is quite late. Quite late by my standards, indeed. It's been a long time since I, streamed this late. I don't know, maybe it hasn't been all that long. Maybe, I think, well, I don't know. It is unusually late for me to be streaming anyway. Whether or not it's something that I've done recently is another matter, but unusually late, to be sure. But yeah, so I've enjoyed Tales of Arise thus far. Haven't seen all that much of it, and we've only just sort of barely scraped the surface of what I was interested in here. But you know, I'm definitely interested in what we have seen. I'm definitely interested in what we have seen thus far, and I'm definitely interested in seeing some more of the combat system. See if it lives up to the very faint recollections I have from the very, very short time that I have seen it played. But the stream has come to an end, and so that means the usual. It is time for a raid. Yes, so once again, Thursday I will probably be streaming again. I may or may not be streaming again at various other points during this week, but Thursday almost certainly. And let's see who's online right now. Who do we want to see? Well, let's go visit Chibi. Why not? I was thinking it's also been a while since we raided Magic number 3, who is also online right now, but they are playing Dead by Daylight, which I'm not not a fan of. I do not like horror, and as late as it is, I would rather not potentially stumble into anything I would like to not see. So, instead, let's go visit Chibi 126. And we'll get that raid set up here. So yeah, I think I've already covered all of the stuff that needed to be covered for the purposes of the schedule and whatnot, insofar as we have one, which is to say not very much so, to be honest. But I know when I'm most likely going to stream again. But yeah, I guess I do intend to continue this as a series, as you may have guessed from the fact that on Twitch right now, this is titled Tales of Arise Part 1. So I'll be making an effort to stream this at least once a week. I might intersperse some more of The Legend of Zelda. In fact, I'll probably have to if I want to complete The Legend of Zelda anytime soon, because this is probably going to be a reasonably long game, considering that it's, you know, a JRPG and everything. So if I were to play this, you know, just once a week and not play The Legend of Zelda, it would probably be a long time. It would probably be a long time indeed before I played The Legend of Zelda again. And an even longer time before I beat The Legend of Zelda. So, let's see, anything else to be said before we go? Yeah, so, I suppose most likely, the most likely time that you'll see me streaming again, streaming more Tales of Arise and or The Legend of Zelda would be on Wednesdays, because normally I would have one collab on Tuesday and have another collab on Thursday. So yes, Wednesday is the most likely the most likely time. Friday's also not terribly unlikely. But yeah, Monday and Saturday are very much dependent on my schedule, whether or not those will be available at all. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the possibility of streaming somewhat more regularly. Because yes, it has been a good long time, and I was starting to get worried that I would forget how to, I don't know. I speak as though I had some sort of secret knowledge that I had accumulated over the years, but really, you know, mostly I just show up and I play games as I would normally, and I talk as I would normally if I, you know, talk to people when I play video games usually. But, you know, it's good to get back into the rhythm of things. But yes, so, raid time. Yeah, definitely one thing about using this laptop, everything, since it's pretty old, everything's a little bit slower than I'm used to working with on my main computer. But yes, we've got the raid set up. The customary raid message is, as always, we have arrived. And so I think that settles us for today. We have arrived. There we go. Accidentally deleted it instead of sending it. There we go. So, once again, thank you all for being here tonight. I hope you have had a fine night. Oh, pardon. Sorry. Hope you have had a fine night. Hope that you will continue to have a fine night. And I hope that you'll be well until then. Hope that you'll have a fine night every night. Can't forget that part. Because I'm not here for you every night. But yes, hope you will have a fine night every night. And I hope that you will be well until the next time I see you. Thank you all very much, and farewell. Let's get this raid underway.